Hello everybody, and welcome back to Half-Life Alyx. The noise we just heard is something we are about to see firsthand in just a second, but I wanted to start off this episode by talking about the Combine soldiers we just faced off with. So, first, I just want to make sure that my game is recording correctly, and it is. So, we fought this guy. He is very similar to that Combine soldier in white that we saw before. He's wearing the same boots. He has a very similar outfit, except his is black and gray. I don't think that the white soldier had this as much armor on him either. And this guy notably has a big backpack. So the reason why he does is because he has the ability to basically set up man hacks for you to have to fight. So that's his notable characteristic. I believe, and I could be wrong, I have been wrong before, but I believe he has the same gun as the white soldier, but he has this big backpack for the man hacks. And then over here we see the big boy Combine, as I like to call him, big beefy boy, who has a shotgun. That's his main characteristic. And then the other characteristic of his is right here. You can kind of see this lens, which is his shield that comes up and protects him. It's sort of a virtual shield. So let us keep going and seeing what we have going on ahead of us. I want to see what's on the map. Metpo. So we have the train depot, which I believe might be where we are. We were definitely at Fairview Station. Let's see. Terminal Gardens. Okay. So we're right here. Right there. And then later on, we will get to the Central Zoo and the Industrial Zone for that matter. So it's kind of cool that this map is showing you where you're going to be going in the game. Speaking of, oh wait, no, not that. Speaking of, oh, never mind. I thought there was an advertisement here that was relevant, but I was wrong. So right in front of us, we see this Combine soldier. He's in the same outfit as that gray one we saw just a minute ago. You can see here, though, that he has hands like zombies. And his face is all kinds of messed up. So, this once was a human, but now he is what Alyx refers to as a zombine. He is a Combine soldier that was zombified. So, what's going on here is that his face obviously looks nothing like the faces we saw on the other zombies so far. It's purple and blue, and it almost looks like tentacles. He almost looks like Cthulhu or something. This is from the genetic modifications that the Combine has made to the guy. You can see that his mask is like fused to his body. He's completely entwined with his uniform. So I would be interested in seeing what it looked like before the zombie got to him. But either way, it's not a good fate. Ooh, ammo. My cat is screaming in the background. I apologize if you can hear that.
Look to the northern star. No. The Vortigaunt said, look to the Northern Star to help his friends, which sounds like Vortigaunt nonsense, but I guess it isn't.
Oh, yeah. That does make more sense.
Okay.
That's some sort of combined substation. They usually generate power and host security protocols.
Like the power and security you need for a giant vault.
So that right there is what we were hearing just a moment ago. But now we are up close and personal with it. And we see these robotic arms moving back and forth, pulling and pushing on the wires. What is happening there is it is pulling the energy from Vortigaunts in order to keep that afloat.
And there's the vault.
And we noticed...
That substation must be what's keeping it in the air. We need to get up there.
Yep, it is keeping it in the air. Through the power of what in my opinion, is the vortescence. That green energy moving forward into... That's so cool. So you hear it up here, you hear these arms starting to generate the energy, and then as it moves to the vault, we hear the sound coming back, and of course the light travels faster than the sound, which is just such a cool little touch. You see here these blue beams coming out of each substation, which we've seen before. In fact, something very similar when the Citadel is opening up for Dr. Breen to transport to the Combine homeworld. So I believe, I and this is just me thinking. This is my own theory. I could be wrong about this, but I think what those are is sort of the way that these outposts talk to each other. It's almost like the Combine internet and how they communicate with each other, and that's why we saw it coming out of the Citadel, because these could even, I don't think so, but they could even be communicating with the homeworld. The reason why I don't think so is just because of how much sheer energy it took in order for Dr. Breen to open that portal. But it could just be almost like, for lack of a better analogy, like the radio waves. They're not transporting any physical beings so it wouldn't take as much energy, because it's not transporting, say, Dr. Breen, it's just transporting data. But I could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things, and I'm okay with that. So see here, just to go back to that Combine soldier we saw, this guy still has a face. He has the hands messed up like the other guy did, right? But he still has a perfectly human face. So that guy's head was definitely messed up by
Alyx,
the Combine.
I think you should find your way into that hotel and get up to the substation.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, Russ, that you don't care enough about lore to let me just say what I'm saying. The Northern Star. Okay. So, there's a poisonous head crab under all these things. Cool, some notebooks. I'm hearing noises. So now we're at this hotel, and this is, of course, what Alyx said. This is what the Vortigaunt was talking about when he said, look to the Northern Star. It wasn't some sort of analogy. He was literally just saying, you should go to this hotel.
Oh, hold on a second. Let's throw one down.
And the power's out. Looks like we're taking the stairs.
Okay. No. It looks like we're not taking the stairs. Oh, Jesus. That scared me. Ouch. Okay. Anything else wanna jump out at me? Dee 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 dee. Battery. I throw you over there. What kind of beers do they have over here? They've got 3 types of whatever that is. And midnight stout. And something German. Decagon Prague. Cool. We have here some vodka, which we'll play later in the game. Oh, cool, look at that fluid. I think that must be a new update, because I'm pretty sure that was not in the game when I first played it. It's really cool. Neat touch. Over here, I just wanted to see, the white soldier has not nearly as much armor as the black and silver guy. Oop.
Ooh, breaker boxes. Let's go back to the elevator plan. I'm gonna get the power back on.
Okay. Okay, so where did I put that battery? We can still hear that outpost in the background. Oh, I don't need you. Okay, let's see what's going on here.
Here we go.
This hotel's ancient. The wiring's gonna be a real rat's nest.
Yep. Thanks, Russ.
Power's back on. Let's check the elevator.
Oh, yeah. As I was gonna say before I got rudely interrupted by that zombie, is that you can play the piano.
Hey Russ, name a song.
Flight of the Bumblebee.
Coming right up.
Let's see.
That's it.
Okay. Hello? Oh, I actually have to put it in first. Derp. Light is nice.
Boom. Power back on.
Yeah, that doesn't look so good. So here we're seeing more Zen creatures. One thing that's really cool that I think is a really nice touch is that this area is very what's the word I want to look I guess characterized by the color blue. So we see here a lot of blue bioluminescence coming out of there. We see blue here, and basically as we move along this whole hotel, you'll be seeing a lot of blue coming out of the Zen
This place is overgrown.
creatures.
How dangerous do we think this stuff really is?
Well, it is spores from another dimension, so probably, yeah, extremely. But a rare opportunity to examine alien flora up close.
Yep, so that's where he mentions that this stuff is flora. Oop. So I guess a lot of this stuff is more like what is that stuff called? The Venus flytraps and things like that, where it's definitely not an animal, but it's really not acting like most plants either. Of course, it comes from a completely different biological timeline than the plants on Earth do. So in that way, you can't really characterize it as flora and fauna because there's not as clear a distinction on Zen as there is here. Because even like barnacles, like, they seem much more animal-like, but compared to what's around it, it's not all that different. And I'll give a really good example of that in just a little bit. Oh, look, things are like protruding out. It almost reminds me of the bioluminescent light shows that cuttlefish or octopus put on. It's pretty cute. You're not gonna let me open you? There we go. Okay. Everything here is like super pulsating, just like it's been, but here it's even more so, and a lot more.
Oh, careful of those pustule things. You're looking a bit ticked off the closer you get.
Ouch. I thought I was far enough away, but I was wrong. These things, again, I mean, plants are alive, and according to most definitions of life, you have to have stimulus to the environment around you. So it's not super unheard of for a plant on Earth to have a reaction when something stimulates it, but there is something to be said about how far we are and how we have not had any contact with the plant whatsoever for it to know we are here. So in that way, it almost implies that it has some sort of sense, whether it's sight or it can quote unquote smell us, is another story. But again, it just sort of blurs the lines of plant and animal.
Ah,
I'm really starting to think I shouldn't be breathing this stuff.
agreed. Just keep moving. Maybe breathe less.
Thanks, Russ. If only I had my gas mask still.
Ugh. This stuff reeks.
Oh, really? What does it reek like? Be specific.
Like a rotting animal mixed with ammonia.
Mixed with ammonia. Okay.
Dead end. Russ, always on the pursuit of knowledge. What a great guy. I'm gonna kill you. Just because I don't want to deal with you. Isn't that a great mindset? Oh boy. Let's try this here. Okay. Oh, there's a monster in here. Actually, I'm going to use you. So the example I was going to use of really blurring the line between animal and plant, and how I'm not sure what you would consider a barnacle, because this thing is definitely related to the things around it. So we see these, like, I don't know what you would call it, but this kind of texture in here, which is very similar to like the texture over here with these pustules, that again, I don't know if it can sense us, but it's throbbing, it's moving, and when I go to take this, it reacts. And of course, it's really easy to, what's the word? There's a word for when you make an animal into, you give an animal human characteristics, but it really does seem like it's sad by you taking it, and it wants to protect it. So in this way, it's stationary, but it really acts more like an animal. And, you know, the barnacle is stationary, but it's less, ouch, I got too close to that. You know, it doesn't react as much as, say, a head crab, or whatever. So, the line is really quite blurred. Sweet. So, box? That's not how you're supposed to do. Okay. Anything in here I missed? Nope, nope, nope.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not. Okay. So, when I first played this game, I, when I first played this game, I took a break right when I saw that creature, in the elevator, and I had nightmares that night about it, and it was the worst thing ever, and it's still pretty horrible, especially what we find out about it after this fight, which is that, like a head crab, it can take over corpses, it can take over bodies as hosts. So I'm gonna switch to the shotgun. here we go. I'm gonna quick save. This fight isn't too hard, but... Oh god.
What's left?
Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh, you're over here. Don't throw your electric goo at me. Where'd you go?
Alex! Alex, what
I killed
happened?
you.
There was like a dog-looking lightning thing.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
I killed it, and it crapped out this thing.
I'm actually gonna put you over here for a second. And I'm gonna go explore, because I did not get the chance to do that. Okay. So that thing. First of all, it is very blue. The energy that it spits is blue, its body is blue, that thing is blue. Which is really fun when you're in this fight because everything around here is blue too, so it does make it a lot harder to see where it is. And is also interesting because, like the Vortigons, which are characterized by the color green, this guy, who we call the Lightning Dog, is characterized by blue, and they both have blue energy. You know, or the Vortigon has green energy, this guy has blue energy, and it's very similar in some ways to the head crab, like I was saying before, where it can take a body as a host. It's pretty similarly sized to a head crab. It's almost like the head crab was smushed flat. But it has energy almost like a Vortigaunt, which says to me that the head crab and the Vortigaunt could be sort of in the same evolutionary track, and this guy is just sort of the middle ground between it. It could also just be that Zen creatures are just characterized by energy, and a lot of them can create energy or conduct energy, however you want to look at it. One question I do have, something that I'm still not totally grasping myself, is what is Zen exactly? So the Combine use it as sort of a middle ground between their homeworld and Earth. Before the Resonance Cascade, and before Gordon Freeman goes to Zen, the Combine don't have any access to Earth, which says to me that the Combine do have access to Zen. Earth has access to Zen, but for some reason, until we more fully open up the connection between Zen and Earth, the Combine weren't able to dominate us. So because in Half-Life 1, which of course we'll go back and play, we do know that Black Mesa has had access to Zen before the Resonance Cascade. It's not like, oh my gosh, the Resonance Cascade happened, now all of a sudden there's aliens that we didn't know about. We didn't know about them. We were researching them before the Resonance Cascade. This was not merely the experiment that Gordon Freeman did when he put the crystal in the anti-mess spectrometer. It was just a continuation of the research they had been doing before. So, that being said, the reason why the 7 Hours War happened after the Resonance Cascade is because Gordon Freeman more fully opened up the realm, or the portal to Zen, is what I meant. So, my question is, what is Zen, and what does it function as? Do the Vortigaunts come from Zen originally? I think they do, but I could be wrong. What could have happened is that the Nihilanth, his homeworld was taken over by the Combine, and he was even experimented on himself by the Combine. When we get to seeing him a little later, you'll see that he's all cut up and has machinery coming out of him, and he has to float using basically like a wheelchair kind of thing. And he merely escaped to Zen to escape the Combine. But that being said, and he also was controlling the Vortigaunts. But the Vortigaunts were also being controlled by the Combine. And so this is what I don't really understand, is were the Vortigaunts already on Zen when the Nihilanth came and he merely took them over? Were the Combine using the Nihilanth as a slave and he was merely a tool to enslave the Vortigaunts for the Combine? Or were both of them just happened to be escaping to Zen? I don't think so. I do, as I'm talking through it, I'm pretty sure the Vorts are from Zen, and the Nihilanth is not. But please tell me your thoughts on that. I would love to know, and I would love to have a discussion about it, because it's something I'm still not fully grasping in my research and my gameplay. But this is one reason why I'm doing this playthrough too, is not only just to teach you guys about the cool things that I found, but also to learn myself, because I really don't know everything. There's a phrase I really like to use that my dad taught me, that knowledge is finite and ignorance is infinite. You're always going to know less than what you don't know. So for every piece of information there is about Half-Life, I'm not going to know everything. No one can know everything about anything, but anyway, I'm sort of going on a rant, but my point is that I don't claim to know everything. I am far from a master. I merely love Half-Life and have a pretty decent knowledge of it. I want to share that knowledge that I do have, and I want my knowledge to grow with you guys, the community. So that being said, I think I'm actually going to take a break here. It's pretty hot in here. That's usually my excuse. But this has also been a fairly dense episode, lore-wise. And I just want to thank you guys for joining me. I would love to hear what you have to say about, the relationship between flora and fauna on Zen, the relationship between Zen and the Combine, and the evolutionary path of the electric dog, or the lightning dog, the head crabs, the Vortigaunts. Basically anything you have to say about it, I would love to hear, and I would love to have a conversation about. So just comment down below, and we will see you in the next video. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.